I've been keeping my finger on the pulse of stop killing games. Because since 2015, there's been all of these, like, what's a term for an artificially created outrage, that is propped up to, eh, for the simple fact of selling yourself as a solution. Like, you create this outrage, right? You create a problem or something that already exists but isn't the biggest problem. You hype up to be the biggest problem, and then you try to sell yourself as the solution. Like, there needs to be a term for this, right? Like, I need to workshop this term. And since 2016, there's been a lot of these. Or hell, I'd even say far before that, like, the satanic panic, the Pokemon satanic, D&D satanic games are bad and satanic and turn you into school shooters. Like, you know that, but then 2016, oh, you play games, you're a sexist, and then also a racist, and then also a homophobe. Like, they throw the entire book at you for what? Playing a game. For something you do in the confines of your own home with nothing but the four walls around you. You do that, some completely idiotic person, some completely unreasonable person comes out of nowhere, complete stranger, and will then attack you. So you have so many of those. I keep wiping my goddamn nose. You have so many of those, and then you have something that the consumer legitimately cares about, which are the things that Stop Killing Games is addressing. And when that happens, they form whole coalitions against this, even though they got millions of signatures. So the consumer, the people have spoken. People believe that a lot of these, like, terms of services that these companies and like services have benefit the companies at the expense of the consumer. And I'd even go further. So many things, at least in video games and entertainment, benefit IP holders and companies and at the expense of the consumer. That's why I don't care what a terms of service says, because at the end of the day, if enough people get together, and demand rules and laws change to benefit the consumer, then what the fuck's a terms of service going to do, right? And, like, you have EA silently smothering the Need for Speed IP, and they're just going to sit on it for, I don't know, the next 20 years till it may hit public domain. Like, so you have all these other things that, like, not even, it's not that the consumer initially cares about it until you do go into deep dives like this guy right here, like Ross has, and brings shit like this up. Well, not what I said in particular, but the thing with the Stop Killing Games and how services treat their consumers. Like, he brings these things up, and he's not new in this setting. Like, this is an old head. Like, he's been doing this for years. It's just now people are figuring this shit out and what's happening. So I'm gonna let him speak. I haven't watched this. I just seen this and I was like, I gotta do a video. Yeah.
Hey, you know that saying, it's not paranoia if they really are out to get you? Well, I have another video I do not want to make, but I probably should. And this one is newsworthy, especially for me. I have behind the scenes news on the Stop Killing Games campaign. Okay, a quick refresher because I know this gets confusing. I founded the Stop Killing Games movement to challenge the legality of publishers destroying games which you've paid for. This has involved a lot of things, which I've shown in slides before, And that includes assisting with the European Citizens Initiative, which is the biggest thing going on with it right now. However, I am actually not the founder of the European Citizens Initiative. That would be a group of volunteers whom I'm in touch with. I'm ineligible to have an official role in the initiative. I'm just a major promoter of it. It's always been something separate. That's part of why it's called the Stop Destroying Video Games Initiative instead of the Stop Killing Games movement. So with that in mind, it was recently shared with me that the Stop Destroying Video Games Initiative has received a serious accusation from an anonymous source. The EU Commission relayed a complaint of it committing 2 violations, yikes, of false no funding declaration and systematic concealment of major contributions. This declaration appears fundamentally incorrect based on publicly documented evidence of substantial undisclosed professional contributions to the campaign.
And see, this is how coalitions act. Like, they will throw out accusations and then demand you bring forth the proof. And again, the process is the punishment. Like, they probably 100% know these things have not happened. But the idea is to get, normies to see this and be like, well, that's bad, without actually looking into it. And in some cases, force the initiative to hire lawyers and put time, money, and effort towards false allegations instead of going towards the thing they're supposed to come towards, or the movement they're supposed to be enacting. I mean, this is just, corruption 101. Like, this isn't anything new.
Well, this is all news to me, but I don't know everything that's going on with the initiative. What's this about? Oh, it's about me. I'm the evidence, everyone. What do we have here? A quote: there have been many weeks on the campaign where I've been working 12 to 14 hours a day to keep things moving to get signatures. Damn straight I have, that is true. I've been running a rickshaw carrying people to the destination. Yes, I did say those words. It's unclear to me if the accuser thinks I've literally been running a rickshaw service or not. And you know what? I'm not gonna tell them. They can guess that for themselves. They're doing a lot of guessing in this. You'll see. Media interviews identifying me as handling the standard day-to-day work of running the Stop Killing Games initiative and described as the primary strategic decision maker and public spokesperson throughout the campaign. Okay, this is reaching. Since I apparently need to spell it out, when I say the initiative will do this or will do that, that's me assuming the initiative members are on board with what I'm saying and me taking my best guess. I've even said before on video, the initiative members are not a hive mind. They can disagree with each other, including me.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? Like, a lot of gamers, there's different types of games from different type of places, and, people tend to just disagree on things. Like, he's not, forming a cult. He's forming effectively an interest group of consumers, of people who play games, and through this group trying to, bring the conversation forward about, publishers destroying games that you paid for and using a terms of service specific to justify that.
They certainly listen to my input, but the decision on literally everything about the initiative is theirs. If I don't like something but they do, then I just have to deal with it. I have no actual authority. Nobody in the initiative takes orders from me. But get ready, because here comes the clown accounting. 15 to 20 weeks of 12 to 14 hour days. That's interesting that they call this a conservative estimate, because they're making these numbers up. They may as well be reading tea leaves. It's true I think I've spent that many hours a day working on this campaign. For some weeks. But 15 to 20? That would have killed me. Some weeks were this high, others it was anywhere from 0 to 4 hours a day. I don't know. You know why I don't know? Because I never track my hours. Why would I? Nobody was hiring me for this. It's all volunteer time. The only reason I said 12 to 14 is because there were plenty of days where I would wake up, work the whole time, then go to bed, minus eating, exercise, and essential chores. And those days make me batty. I hate working that much. But I am impressed that they think they know my hours better than I do. Oh, but here's the good part. Professional rate, 50 to 75 euros an hour. Yeah, maybe that would mean something if I was a professional who had a rate for anything. Minimum estimated value, 63 to 147,000 euros. Oh, yeah. Okay, this one annoys me a bit because their low end, 63,000 euros, is more money I've made in any year in my entire life. Though, hey, I'm sure all kinds of people are worth more if they make up numbers about how much they should be getting paid from imaginary sources.
Yeah, and all that is just, again, word salad documents, and these are probably their assumptions based off, how other types of movements have started, how other people have went about it. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just word salad.
I guess good thing I'm not a professional then. Of destroying games that's pushed me this hard. But I have my limit about that. An hour day commitment during many weeks far exceeds any reasonable volunteer threshold. Yes, true. They're right about that. That isn't reasonable at all. I've hated this crap and I can't wait to work less on the campaign. It's only my perception that this is my one chance to fix the problem of destroying games that's pushed me this hard. But I have my limits, guys. Professional time investment constitutes quantifiable in-kind contribution under transparency regulations. I guess good thing I'm not a professional then. Well, this is a very serious accusation. And it sounds like I should have logged my hours and made up hourly rates like my accuser did, huh?
Yeah, they're doing this thing where it's like, oh, you have to put as much time, you have to manually put in the time and in hours, like it's a full-time job and not just some dude in his mom's I mean, he probably has his own house. Some dude in his basement just talking to people, having people call him and organizing things. Like, I don't know what this argumentation is. Like, what are they trying? Like, that he's like this NGO that comes out of nowhere. Like, I don't understand what the argument is.
But wait, here's a thought. Why don't we check what the European Union's rules actually are? Who is considered a sponsor? Sponsors are people or organizations providing financial support over 500 euros. Okay, well, I've spent 0 euros on the initiative, just a crap load of time, so that's not me. Legal persons or organizations providing other economically quantifiable in-kind donations or non-economically quantifiable support to an initiative are also considered sponsors. Well, I've been advised I'm not a legal person, I'm a natural person. That sounds right, and I certainly wasn't representing an official organization. I mean, I haven't signed one form with Stop Killing Games on it, or for the initiative for that matter. Individuals providing non-financial support, such as volunteering, are not considered sponsors under the ECI regulation and do not need to be reported. Oh, what's that? That description, which is exactly what I've been doing? So the EU says the initiative has been following the rules this entire time? But what about this anonymous accuser saying the EU doesn't know its own rules? Is there a hidden clause here? Like you're not a sponsor unless you work really hard?
Yeah, and again, an anonymous accuser, again, that alone, like, it's like, if you're going to accuse someone, why would you do so anonymously? Like, I think this is just yet another tactic to be like, oh, just this random person, when it's just probably part of the coalition. Like, homie has people that are his ops now, and what is he doing? He's ensuring paid products that the consumer paid for they can keep. and that makes them mad for some reason. They're like, no, we should be able to take a product away from you for any reason. Like, we don't even need a reason. It's like my brother in Christ, like anyone who has bought a thing, period, does not believe that. And okay, you can argue, oh, well, it's digital, blah, 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 blah. It's not like physical. People don't fucking care. You know, people want what the hell they bought.
So let's get this straight. We've got an anonymous complaint saying the initiative is violating EU law. I'm apparently in charge of the initiative despite being ineligible to even join it, hence why my name is not on here. The accuser is making up how many hours I've worked on this and are making up imaginary money amounts I've supposedly donated in kind, and their claims directly contradict the EU's own laws on this. And hey, plot twist, there's something I didn't tell you. The official organizers literally asked EU representatives if it was okay for me to assist them in the capacity I have been back in spring of 2024, just to make sure everything was above board in case there was a problem or we needed to report anything. They said what I've been doing is fine. We've been doing this by the book, guys. So where did this complaint come from? Well, we'll never know. It's anonymous. But let me ask you.
We can speculate. I think this is probably some lawyer, some legal person that either they paid or either they have hired, or, you know, what was that coalition, the European Games, whatever the fuck, like, these are just forces acting against Ross and acting against what the consumers clearly want, and they're using whatever tactic they can. Like, God knows what other tactics they're going to try to do. Like, if I was the part of the coalition, I'd do the same fucking thing. You know, trying to turn normal people away from it. And again, Ross is doing exactly what the fuck he's supposed to do. Like, what the hell are these things? It just doesn't mean anything.
Does anyone think this is just some concerned citizen acting independently here? I mean, pretend all of these accusations were true. Would that end the initiative? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think it will, because it's clear enough people believe these, like, rules and laws that exist. You know, these terms of services services exist that don't benefit them. It's just, there's a lot of people that don't look into it. A lot of people don't care. And the only people that are truly against this is that coalition, or maybe like journalists that, again, or just a bunch of people that don't actually look into it. They just read from it what other people said and then make their deliberation based off that.
It's gunning for us. This is a shot across the bow. Now again, this complaint is anonymous, so I'm not accusing anyone. I don't know who wrote it. But I'll just say the timing of this is awfully hot on the heels of an industry lobby group giving some very bad statements about the movement.
Yep.
In some cases, I think outright lying about it. But I don't know if it was them. Maybe it was a different lobbying group. Or maybe it was just some political hatchet man hired by the industry. But someone was trying to kill the initiative. Filing paperwork to the European Union accusing the initiative and myself of violating the rules, maybe even committing a crime, I'm not sure. That's no small thing. This is the industry playing dirty now. It reminds me of Battleship. They took a shot hoping my battleship was here when it was actually here. So they missed, but I sure felt the splash. So why am I telling you all this? Well, this has me a little worried. I mean, this complaint doesn't scare me. We followed the rules and they made up the charges. I mean, hell, if they hadn't put appears fundamentally incorrect, this might have been borderline libel against me. But the fact that first we have the industry lobbying against us, then we're getting this attempted shot at us behind closed doors, makes me concerned about what's coming next. I mean, I haven't done anything shady that I'm aware of, but maybe that doesn't matter. If they can't find a real angle on us, maybe they'll make more things up. Maybe serious things. At the rate we're going, I'm expecting the next news to be a Photoshop of me in a parking garage doing a handoff with a briefcase full of money. Now what?
Yeah, and I mean, always expect it. Like they've already took 2 shots. Expect the third shot to either be something big or bigger. Some attempt at, oh well, he paid this much or had this much money. Like they've already tried that. Like God knows what's coming next, but I feel like this is just going to galvanize people in the movement more, because it's like, okay, if a coalition's actively working against you, that just more solidifies your point, because it's more of a justification that you're doing the right thing, right?
I've been told is if the industry can't kill the initiative, the next step is to throw so much dirt on us, members of parliament start getting scared to support it. So just because this is only the second shot at us, that doesn't mean there aren't 20 more shots coming behind it. And I'm again reminded of how stupid this whole thing is when you consider what a comparatively low cost an end-of-life plan is. I bet whatever companies are spending on lobbying against us is more than it would cost them to have end-of-life plans for their games, especially in the future. Hell, I think a lot of end-of-life plans for games will be less than those imaginary euros I'm not being paid. But I don't know what's coming next, and it could get a lot worse than this. Who knows? I am so out of my league on this. I have never been a political target before, so this is all uncharted territory for me. Have you ever played a game that's getting harder and harder, and you can still keep up with it in the moment, but you're starting to think at the rate it's going, you're not sure if you can handle it in a level or two? That's kind of the vibe I have right now.
Yeah, but usually in those games, you adjust to the specific level, right? Like, I think you're doing exactly what you need to do in this situation. You're adjusting, you're being adaptive to what the things are happening. Like, now you have a legitimate fundamental defense and basis on what you're doing and what tactics are being used, and now that is coming out that they're false, I mean, the next tactic will be less effective, you know. So, and eventually you beat the level, right? If you're determined enough, and if you understand, I don't know, the damn attack patterns or, the enemy placement, you'll beat the level. So, I mean.
And for those of you who think I'm being paranoid, did you hear about that retro gaming YouTuber who was arrested for reviewing modded handheld consoles? Oh, yeah! That doesn't hit close to home for me at all. I mean, I don't have any handhelds, so I guess I'm safe there. But what about abandonware? If I play an emulated Commodore 64 game, are they going to send the cops to my place as step 5? Gotta love the games industry.
Or send the fucking Pinkertons after you, like that Wizards of the Coast did for a guy that reviewed Magic cards. Like, people don't understand that companies are not moral entities. It's like people act the way they want the world to be, not the way the world is. Like, there are absolutely other tactics that can be used against Ross, by the industry, by the coalition, by companies. And I'm pretty sure it's expected at this point that these tactics are going to be used. How they're maybe, someone was going to start knocking at the door of his house. Who knows?
But as of this moment, I still feel free to speak my mind, so I better make use of it. Here's the thing. The video games industry is worth billions. If they really want to smear me or the initiative, they'll find a way to do it. We're lucky their attempts have been so bumbling so far. I mean, I just showed you how these claims are false because they're lying about how the law defines my actions. Video Games Europe was almost certainly lying about this claim, and it was irrelevant. Almost certainly lying about their liability here. They were either so obtuse they couldn't understand what we're asking for when it's spelled out for them, or they're lying about not understanding it. Take your pick. Oh, and this claim. This one is a bit clever because it can't be disproven. You could say this about anything. Like, I could say it's prohibitively expensive for me to make a paper airplane. And you might say, what are you talking about? A piece of paper costs what, 2 cents? And I could say, yeah, but that would curtail my choice. Because I want to make my paper airplane out of the Magna Carta, and that's priceless. Thus, it's prohibitively expensive for me to make a paper airplane. I guarantee you that's the kind of logic they're using here if you were to really dig into the details. Oh, and let's let everyone know this lobby group isn't even representing its members that well. BeamNG says they weren't consulted by Video Games Europe and disagree with their statement and behavior.
Yeah, it was this ragtag group. Like, they're not even representing the industry, you know, the people that buy games, because you got a million signatures, clearly, like, the assumption is the consumer is against the way the game industry's been running. So the question is, who the fuck are they representing? Well, clearly there's representing companies, journalists, you know, the industry as a whole, right? And in their statement, they even said, we'll consult our legal counsel. It's like, why not consult the consumer? You know, the people that put food on your table. Well, because the consumer is against them, right? And you'd think something would change. You're like, nah, we're getting together with our legal team, with people in the industry, to go against Stop Killing Games, which represents the consumers, the people that put food on your fucking table, right? Make no mistake, this is what's happening.
Even Epic Games, yeah, that small company, you probably haven't heard of them, has come out saying that they're currently non-committal on this. So Video Games Europe wasn't representing them in their statement either. So if they're not even consulting their members, who the hell are they representing exactly? Okay, some news as I'm editing. Ubisoft has responded to Stop Killing Games. I was not expecting that. It's a lot of misdirection. I'll try and speedrun this. Okay, this is irrelevant. We're aware of your terms. It's not yet determined if they're legal or not. This is also irrelevant. This part is true. This is a widespread problem in the industry. The only thing unique to Ubisoft is they're trying to get away with this crap as a French company. Okay, even the EU Commission wouldn't commit as to whether these types of games are services or not when asked. So he can call these games services, but legally they might not be.
Yeah, because I'm not mistaken, the Crew does have a single player. I don't know about X Defiant, but I know the Crew does. So, and the reason they're considering it a service is because it has an online component, and said online component is also in the single player.
Services tell you when they end, and the endless support argument. Okay, I'm undecided. If this was a senior developer saying this, I would 100% call this misdirection. I mean, hey, this looks awfully similar to that comment from Video Games Europe about endless support. This could be the industry's new playbook. If they can pretend to not understand what we're asking for over and over again, maybe they're hoping that will change the narrative. However, this is a CEO saying this, so maybe he really doesn't know how these games work.
Yeah, again, don't expect CEOs marketing. Like, he probably flew some golden parachute from another failed fucking company. Well, it's Ubisoft, so they have the I don't know, the brothers that start, the family that starts with a G. They don't know about games. They don't know, like, all they know is what they've consulted with their legal team that they themselves hired. So the point of the team is to work in the interest of Ubisoft. Like, and I don't know, whatever the fuck Pirate Software said is what they're doing.
Hey, if so, he wouldn't be the first CEO to not understand how his company's products work.
Got him.
So I can't tell if he's just trying to gaslight everyone, or if he just doesn't know how these games are made, so he thinks they would need endless support. I kind of hope he actually doesn't know.
Yeah, and again, there are games today that has, private servers brought up, upheld by the fans, by the consumers, and there's no, you know, information or copyright, trademark things being used. Like games to this day that were made, what, 20 some years ago, or you can play online. So, again, it's just not something that makes sense. Just look at examples of older games that you can play online.
Anyway, the point here is there's a lot of lying and shady stuff going on from the games industry against Stop Killing Games. And I guess now, me too. So if these attempts to shoot down the initiative keep happening, maybe assume the industry, which has been shown to be lying repeatedly, is lying again. And the whole point of their accusations is to make you forget the real issue, which is consumers are getting robbed by the industry. There are nuances to it, but the basic message is when you buy a copy of a game, you should get to keep it. And publishers shouldn't be able to destroy what you already paid for. This concept is so basic, it's still a joke we even have to fight for this. So don't let the industry throw you off the scent, especially...
Yeah, they try to use words and definitions and terms to try to muddy that, but at the end of the day, the consumer just doesn't fucking care these terms. Like, okay, it's a digital product, so fucking what? I paid money for it. It's mine. Give it to me right now. Like, I don't understand. Okay, you have a terms of service. Cool. Don't care. It's just, if your entire industry is built off a predatory, you know, framework, like a castle built on sand, the problem is you're the industry, right? The problem is how you operate your service, not me, the consumer. I'm not the fucking problem.
Especially in the future. If something doesn't pass the smell test, push back. I say this because things could heat up so much that maybe in the future I'm not at liberty to give commentary or defend myself like this. I've managed to get in touch with a few political insiders that know more about how these attacks work than I do. I intend to follow their advice. Right now, my plans haven't changed at all. But if I just go really quiet on some topics in the future, then I'm telling you why right now. It will be because the attacks are getting so serious that me saying anything might be a liability somehow. I mean, remember, this was behind the scenes. The industry didn't make this one public. So who knows what the next thing they're planning is. Now, hopefully, I'm overreacting and the industry won't keep escalating this. This was just them taking a couple pot shots at us, but I'm trying to prepare for a lot of scenarios. I mean, I knew there was a chance of something like this happening back when I launched the campaign last year. That's one of the many reasons I never wanted to do this. At least this is just me trying to get the most bare minimum common sense regulation in the games industry, and not trying to be a whistleblower on the defense industry.
Yeah, I can. I can 100% understand what he's like. He doesn't want to do this. It's just, this is something forced upon him. This is the path he chose to take, because he sees things that just don't look right, don't make sense, and in any type of situation, the consumer would be on board. But for some reason, because it's video games, like for just off that basis alone, it doesn't matter. Well, people do. It does matter. People do care. People will defend this, and will defend you and sign this initiative. And because the petition reached 1 million signatures, clearly there's something to be said about what's happening in the games industry. And I mean, games have gotten more popular than movies, more popular than music, more popular than TV shows. It is probably the most popular medium. It's popular because there are so many grifters, so many shills that enter the industry specifically based off the money. Like, they don't care about the consumer. They don't care about gaming as a culture. They just care to make that money off of it. And it's fine. Like, making money isn't a crime, but if you're going to damage the culture as a whole, people are going to fight against you, right? And that's what Video Games Europe is doing. They're damaging the culture. That's what these game companies are doing. They're damaging gaming as a culture. That's why I hate playing multiplayer games, because one, they all just seem the same. Like, they all have predatory microtransactions. They all have a vapid fucking, single player vapid fucking mechanics that exist specifically to funnel you towards microtransactions. They're not really, like, they try so hard to look good that they forget to even make a goddamn game in the first place. They try to make games look better, and it's like, okay, but where's the game? Oh, it's not a game. And then you complain about it, oh, this game's not made for you. Then who the fuck is it made for? Because it's not made for this fictional wider audience that you've constructed in your head and is now selling the product to, because they're not buying it, right? So many flops have happened like Concord to prove that point, but then people act like that it just doesn't exist. It's like all these contrarian people from Twitter will jump at you for being like, this is a bad fucking game. But then when the game flops, it's like complete crickets. They will never apologize. They'll never come back and be like, well, I guess I'm wrong. They'll wait until the next failure comes out and then defend it and be contrarian then. And it's like, okay, so this damages the gaming culture, because now gamers aren't, this bind force, and that demands a better product, demands better games from the industry. It's just the industry wants to shove slop content down your throat, right? And treat you like the enemy for not wanting the slop.
That would be bad. Okay, to end this on a lighter note, despite all this mess, we've been getting more and more support from European members of Parliament. Here are some I've been informed of, though some of these I'm pretty late finding out. Marketa Gregorova's was from last year, actually, and had cool promotional art and everything. That's what, 4-bit color? But the big one is Nikolai Stefanuta, a vice president of European Parliament, throwing his weight behind the initiative and saying he signed it himself. Okay,
Hey,
I'm the
that's
wrong
pretty good.
person to judge social media effectiveness, but 85,000 likes on Twitter would sound like a good day to me if I was a politician. This is what I mean about easy wins for politicians, guys. Keeping it real, most people don't care about video games either way, so this is pretty safe politically. But for the people who do, Stop Killing Games is advocating for a very popular position that's in line with existing consumer protection laws and is narrowly focused. So this isn't going to cripple the industry either. The industry is fighting this because they'll fight anything that requires them to do something.
Yeah, they're fighting it because they hire people whose entire job is to fight these things and to fight any change to the industry and any stranglehold they have. Like, there are people whose entire legal position it is to fight things, exactly fight things like this. To fight the consumer if they ever decide, God forbid, maybe I should keep what the fuck I paid for. At least in this case, that.
Stop Killing Games is about as safe and popular as it gets in politics. And as a bonus, it's appealing to people who might not normally be involved in politics. That's an elusive demographic. And now's a good time to mention again that contacting members of European Parliament on the Internal Market and Consumer Protection Committee is probably the best thing we can do to push back. Though I've received conflicting information on which parties to contact and what subject lines to use. If you want to help, just try your best with contacting a representative of your country, preferably someone who cares about consumer rights. Okay, that's it. I have no idea what's coming down the pipeline now, but all this resistance means we are throwing around some real power to fix things. So let's keep at it.
Oh, hungry.
With the amount-
Fuck. But yeah, I mean, obviously
Hey.
this is working and this is making waves, because yet another tactic against this, which is what he's using as chakra to turn around and throw back as more support. Any kind of enemies in video games, you're going the right way. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. When you do, abso-fucking-lutely. Person working way too hard for no pay. Gotta love a bunch of corpos whose brains are physically incapable of even imagining a man fighting for a cause and not money. Absolutely. Oh, the spiffing Brit. Hello, CEO of Games here. Please delete this video. Got him. The Norwegian Consumer Council seems to even be talking about it and seems to be pushing for a change for Norway. The stance seems to be refund the consumer if you can't keep the game playable. And this is 100% reasonable. Look, there's so many ways they make games, even outside of the physical purchase of the game, and that's microtransactions, stocks. Like you said, it'd be cheaper to just refund people that want a refund. By the way, some probably won't even try to go for a refund, but if for the people who do, it's like just give them their fucking money back. The corporate version of it came to me in a dream. Yeah, I made it source. I made it the fuck up. The fact that companies are fighting back means this does worry them. Don't let up. Yeah. And, when they try to smother this, just keep talking about it even more. So there's to see giant corporations act like Ace Attorney villains. Yes. I mean, like I said, they hire people in the companies whose entire job is to fight things like these. And if you're hired for this, you'll just treat it like any other job. You probably don't care for games, don't actually care for it, but a company hires you, pays you probably 6 digits to do it, so he's just gonna fucking do it. They're not fighting false claims against you, Freeman. You're just being paranoid. Yeah, just overwhelming support for this. But yeah, I'm gonna keeping my finger on the pulse of this because I find it interesting. Like the consumer is being like that this is a bad industry, and the industry's fighting against the consumers. It's like, well, wonder how that'll work out. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.